Traveling with a United States passport in 2026 isn't as easy as it used to be. In this video, we reveal the top 5 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2026 and why travelers are being surprised. The global travel landscape is changing fast. While Americans are welcome in many parts of the world, political tensions, visa restrictions, public sentiment, and safety concerns have made certain countries far more difficult or uncomfortable for American travelers. Welcome back to Discover Top 10 Places, where we break down real travel realities, global trends, and destinations you need to think twice about. Today, we're counting down the top 5 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2026. Based on travel advisories, visa policies, diplomatic tensions, and on-the-ground experiences reported by travelers. Watch until the end because the number 1 country is one many people still assume is open to Americans, but the reality is very different. Number 5, Venezuela. It is increasingly viewed as one of the most unstable and unwelcoming countries for Americans, especially as political, economic, and security conditions continue to deteriorate. Years of economic collapse have left the country struggling with shortages of food, medicine, fuel, and basic services, while infrastructure failures and unreliable utilities disrupt daily life. Violent crime, including armed robbery and kidnapping, remains a serious concern, particularly in major cities. For citizens of the United States, traveling to or living in Venezuela involves heightened personal risk, limited freedom of movement, and an overall environment of unpredictability. Political tensions have escalated dramatically following the recent arrest of Venezuela's sitting president, an event that has intensified instability across the country. This development has deepened divisions between political factions and fueled widespread unrest, protests, and power struggles. In the aftermath, anti-American rhetoric has grown stronger among certain political groups and supporters who associate the United States with Venezuela's internal crisis. Armed civilian groups and security forces have expanded their presence, contributing to an atmosphere of fear and volatility that makes the country especially dangerous for foreign nationals, including Americans. For citizens of the United States, the lack of reliable diplomatic support significantly increases the danger. With diplomatic relations severely strained, Americans in Venezuela have little to no access to consular assistance in emergencies involving arrest, detention, medical crises, or legal disputes. Encounters with authorities can be unpredictable, and detentions may occur with limited transparency or due process. Simply holding a United States passport can lead to increased scrutiny, questioning, or restrictions, making even short-term travel a serious risk. Beyond politics and security, Venezuela's ongoing economic and social breakdown further reduces livability. Hyperinflation continues to erode purchasing power, while fuel shortages, frequent power outages, and a severely strained healthcare system affect everyday survival. Transportation networks and commercial flights remain unreliable, isolating the country from the outside world. Combined with the heightened political hostility following the president's arrest, Venezuela remains a place where citizens of the United States are effectively not welcome and face severe safety, legal, and security risks, making it one of the most dangerous destinations to consider in the current global climate. Number 4, Russia. It is increasingly considered one of the most difficult and unwelcoming countries for Americans, particularly as geopolitical tensions between Russia and the United States remain extremely high. Travel conditions have changed dramatically in recent years, with stricter laws, heightened surveillance, and an unpredictable security environment. For Americans, everyday activities, such as travel, communication, and movement, can attract attention, and misunderstandings with authorities can escalate quickly. The overall atmosphere has become far less tolerant toward Western nationals, especially those from the United States. Political tensions play a major role in Russia's strained relationship with Americans. Ongoing conflicts, sanctions, and diplomatic disputes have fueled strong anti-American narratives within state-controlled media and public discourse. These tensions have translated into increased scrutiny of United States citizens, including questioning at borders, monitoring of activities, and suspicion of espionage or political motive. In some cases, Americans have faced detention or legal trouble under broadly interpreted laws, making the risk level significantly higher than in the past. The situation is further complicated by limited diplomatic support. Relations between Russia and the United States are severely restricted, reducing the ability of American diplomats to provide timely assistance in emergencies. United States citizens who encounter legal issues may face long delays, limited transparency, and restricted access to legal representation. This lack of dependable consular protection makes travel especially risky, even for experienced international travelers. Beyond politics, practical challenges also affect livability and safety. Flight availability has been reduced. financial transactions can be difficult due to sanctions, and access to international services is limited. Combined with heightened nationalism, strict law enforcement, and an unpredictable legal environment, Russia has become a place where citizens of the United States are often unwelcome and face serious legal and personal risks. For many Americans, Russia now represents a destination that requires extreme caution or complete avoidance in the current global climate. Number 3. Iran. It is widely regarded as one of the most restrictive and unwelcoming countries for Americans, largely due to long-standing political tensions with the United States and strict internal control. While Iran is rich in history and culture, the reality for United States citizens is far more complicated. Travel is heavily regulated, personal freedom is limited, and foreigners, especially Americans, are often viewed through a political and security lens rather than as ordinary visitors. This creates an environment where even routine travel can feel tense and uncertain. Political relations between Iran and the United States remain deeply strained, and this tension directly affects Americans on the ground. United States citizens are often subject to heightened scrutiny, surveillance, and restrictions, regardless of the purpose of their visit. Iran enforces strict rules that require many Americans to travel with government-approved guides, limiting independent movement. In some cases, Americans have been detained under vague national security charges, making the risk of misunderstanding or misinterpretation particularly serious. The lack of reliable diplomatic protection further increases the danger. The United States does not maintain a full embassy in Iran, which means consular assistance for Americans is extremely limited. If a United States citizen is arrested or faces a legal issue, access to legal representation and communication with family or officials can be delayed or restricted. This absence of dependable support leaves Americans vulnerable in emergencies, medical situations, or legal disputes. Beyond political and legal risks, everyday life in Iran presents additional challenges for Americans. Strict social laws, censorship, internet restrictions, and limitations on personal expression can be difficult to navigate. Financial transactions are complicated due to sanctions, and access to international services is limited. Combined with the ongoing political hostility toward the United States, Iran remains a country where Americans are often not welcome and face serious legal, personal, and security risks, making it a destination that requires extreme caution or avoidance for United States citizens. Number 2. North Korea. It is widely considered one of the most hostile and unwelcoming countries for Americans, with conditions that make travel extremely dangerous for citizens of the United States. The country operates under one of the most closed and authoritarian systems in the world, where foreign visitors are viewed with deep suspicion. For Americans, simply holding a United States passport can immediately place them under intense scrutiny, making North Korea one of the least accessible and most risky destinations globally. Political hostility between North Korea and the United States plays a central role in this reality. Decades of conflict, sanctions, and military tensions have created an environment where Americans are often portrayed as enemies of the state. United States citizens have previously been used as political leverage, facing detention or harsh treatment for actions that would be considered minor or accidental elsewhere. Strict laws are enforced arbitrarily, and misunderstandings, such as taking an unauthorized photo or deviating from instructions, can lead to severe consequences. The situation is made even more dangerous by the total lack of reliable diplomatic protection. The United States has no embassy in North Korea, and consular access is extremely limited or non-existent. If an American is detained, communication with family, legal representation, or outside officials may be delayed or denied entirely. This absence of protection means that United States citizens have virtually no safeguards if something goes wrong. Beyond legal and political risks, everyday travel conditions in North Korea are highly controlled and restricted. Visitors are constantly monitored, movement is tightly supervised, and interaction with local citizens is heavily restricted. Access to independent communication, internet, and medical care is extremely limited. Combined with ongoing political hostility and the possibility of sudden policy changes, North Korea remains a country where citizens of the United States are clearly not welcome and face extreme personal, legal, and security risks, making it one of the most dangerous places in the world for Americans to visit under any circumstance. Number 1. Afghanistan. It is widely regarded as one of the most dangerous and unwelcoming countries for Americans, with conditions that make travel or long-term presence extremely risky for citizens of the United States. Ongoing security threats, political instability, and the collapse of many formal institutions have created an environment where daily life is unpredictable and often violent. For Americans, simply being identified as a United States citizen can immediately increase the risk of targeting, harassment, or detention. The political and security situation in Afghanistan remains highly volatile. Armed groups maintain significant control, and the rule of law is inconsistent and unevenly enforced. Anti-American sentiment persists due to decades of conflict involving the United States, and foreigners, especially Americans, are often viewed with suspicion or hostility. Kidnappings, arbitrary detentions, and violent attacks remain serious concerns, particularly for anyone perceived to have Western ties or influence. One of the most critical issues for Americans in Afghanistan is the complete lack of reliable diplomatic support. The United States does not operate an embassy in the country, meaning there is virtually no consular assistance available for emergencies, arrests, medical crises, or evacuation. If a United States citizen is detained or harmed, there are extremely limited options for intervention or assistance, leaving individuals almost entirely on their own in crisis situations. Beyond security and politics, everyday living conditions in Afghanistan further amplify the risk. The healthcare system is severely strained, access to basic services is limited, and infrastructure such as transportation and communications is unreliable. Food insecurity, power outages, and economic hardship affect much of the population. Combined with ongoing violence and the absence of diplomatic protection, Afghanistan remains a country where citizens of the United States are not welcome and face extreme safety, legal, and humanitarian risks, making it one of the most dangerous places in the world for Americans to consider under any circumstances. Conclusion: travel isn't just about where you want to go, it's about where you can go safely and responsibly. While Americans are welcomed in most of the world, these countries present serious risks, restrictions, or barriers that travelers need to understand before making plans. If this video helped you stay informed, hit the like button, share it with someone planning international travel, and comment below if any country on this list surprised you. And don't forget to subscribe to Discover Top 10 Places for more videos on travel warnings, global destinations, safest countries to visit, and places you should think twice about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.